Back, everyone, at 6:18. Once women know they have dense breast tissue, they may want further testing, ensuring they don't have cancer. That can be a breast ultrasound, 3D mammogram, or even MRI. But what women may not realize is insurance doesn't always pay for those follow-up tests. And Target Aid is uncovering how much they cost at facilities right here in West Michigan. We discovered the fair price of a breast ultrasound in West Michigan is about $130, according to healthcarebluebook.com. Mercy Health tells us tomosynthesis, or a 3D mammogram, runs about $150. But what's considered the most comprehensive, we discovered, is the most expensive. An MRI costs nearly $1,400. Michigan is the 21st state to enact a breast density notification law, and some states are already taking it further. They're requiring insurance companies to then pay for follow-up testing. One woman fighting breast cancer tells us that new legislation is a step in the right direction, but that Michigan still has a long way to go.
It makes me angry that insurance companies can choose what they pay for and what they don't pay for. And it kind of is ironic that I bet you right now they're really wishing they had paid for an extra ultrasound instead of what I'm going to be costing them in the next few years, if I make it that long.
Joining us this morning is Jennifer Juergens, Executive Director of Susan G. Komen Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is such an important topic we've been covering this week. So Komen Michigan has just announced several grants to help with women fighting breast cancer here in West Michigan. We want to learn more about that this morning.
Yes, of course. So I don't know that everybody knows, but when you Race for the Cure, which is one of our top branding and awareness items here in town, that money actually stays here locally, 75% of it, in fact, and we look at the community to find the gaps in breast health, and that's what that money is used for. So a lot of it goes back out each year to our healthcare partners in town, Catherine's Healthcare Center, Spectrum, Mercy, so forth and so on. And it's there to fill those gaps, like what we're talking about this morning, when insurance doesn't quite cover everything.
So for instance, if a patient finds out they do have dense breast tissue and they do want that extra testing, that expensive extra testing, that money is available out there for them.
Yeah, so we put many of our grants right now, especially within Spectrum and Mercy Health, are for screening and diagnostics.
Okay.
Another thing that we see a lot is not always the cost of the test, it's the deductible. So those of us with insurance have large deductibles sometimes, and a Komen grant within those hospital organizations can cover that.
Do they contact Susan G. Komen, or do they contact the hospital? How does it get to the people?
Well, you know, you start out with that conversation with your doctor.
Okay.
Anytime that you have a diagnosis of dense breast tissue, or even if something is just not normal with your breasts for you, talk to your doctor. Your doctor should be your best ally. If you're not comfortable with what your doctor is saying, get a second opinion or give us a call. And it's the same thing with if a hospital's not covering something, or if issues with insurance. We're a good starting point because we have those relationships here in town with our friends at the Kent County Health Department, Breast and Cervical Cancer Control Program funds, Healthy Michigan funds, insurance funds. We're just a good resource to start with.
Sounds like a great resource.
Yes.
Susan G. Komen's been around for years. So what if a doctor is insistent that a dense breast tissue patient does not need further testing, but that patient is saying, I need this for my peace of mind, I feel it in my gut that I want this extra testing. What's your advice for those women?
If they feel that something isn't normal with them, or if they have that family history or any of those factors, I think that women should always be their best advocate. And if the doctor isn't their ally, they should talk to a different doctor or give us a call. I pushed and pushed for mammograms at a very young age because my mother passed from breast cancer when she was very young, and each year I would have that conversation. They'd say, why are you here? And I'd go, well, because blah, 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 and we'd fight a little bit about insurance and this and that, but we found my breast cancer at a stage 0. And I'm 5 years out now, and that's the way that it's supposed to work. And so I'm very strong on, if a woman feels a specific way, she should follow that, and she should find someone who is her ally.
A lot of this is about empowering the woman. With that information in hand, you have a lot of power.
Yes.
Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Very important information. Thank you for your work.
Thank you for having me.